He's just the family charity case. My sister mocked me in front of her friends at her housewarming. Then don't expect a damn thing from me again, I snapped and exposed her publicly with photos and receipts. My name is Mark. I'm 35, not married, and if you ask my relatives they'd think that's a serious issue. They don't say it directly, not using those words, but it's always there behind their forced smiles and those long quiet pauses every holiday. I'm the one they keep asking if I still do remote work even though I own a successful graphic design company. I'm also the one they place next to the baby seat or the odd uncle, since apparently I don't care. Right. And most importantly, I'm the one expected to show up with present. Not basic ones, but expensive brand name gifts, big thoughtful surprises that look good on Instagram but they never send a thank you card. My sister Emily just purchased her first home with her fiancé Bobby. 2 floors, open layout, full of shiny quartz counters. You know the kind. It's the type of place where you feel nervous touching anything. She's 31, works in property sales, and uploads so many clean interior photos you'd assume she's sponsored by a fabric brand. I was truly happy for her, honestly. She had always aimed high. And even though we weren't close while growing up, she was the popular cheerleader. I was the quiet boy sketching at the back. I thought this could be our chance to reconnect. A few months earlier she casually mentioned that she wanted a certain handcrafted dining set made by a local craftsman, 6 matching chairs, 1 table with detailed carvings that cost a fortune. It's too expensive, she said, but it's my dream furniture. You know. She laughed while sipping her drink, not even making eye contact. But I remembered what she said. It took months of staying up late, dipping into my savings and organizing everything carefully, but I had it custom made. Walnut wood, smooth matte surface, soft green cushions, her favorite shade. I even had our family initials lightly carved beneath the table, just a small tribute to our home and background. I thought it would be the ideal housewarming gift, meaningful, generous, personal, something that would make her stop and say, wow. You really understand me. The party was on a Saturday. I had it delivered about an hour before guests would arrive, hoping she'd be surprised and maybe a little emotional. I imagined her hugging me in front of everyone, maybe even crying a little. That kind of reaction, I'd never gotten that from her. When I walked in, people were already chatting, drinking, and holding small snack cups. She noticed me at the entrance and came over, giving me a fake smile that didn't reach her eyes. Oh, she said, glancing behind me like she expected someone more exciting. You actually brought it? I blinked. Yeah, I replied, pulling the cloth off one chair. Thought you'd want to see it before the photos. She didn't even glance at it. Instead, she turned to her group of friends and giggled. That's my brother. He means well, but he's kind of a sad case who always tries too hard. They all laughed. I stood completely still gripping the chair like it was holding me up. My parents were across the room. They heard what she said. I noticed my mom's eyes react, but then she looked away and acted like the dip tray was super interesting. My dad gave a slight nod and raised his glass like that was enough. I gave a stiff smile, the kind you force when everything inside is falling apart. Glad you like it, I said quietly. I still helped set it up. One by one I unwrapped each chair, wiped down the legs, and placed them evenly around the table. Nobody helped. Nobody even asked where the set came from. I stood nearby while her friends took pictures, sitting there raising their drinks, calling it Pinterest goals. I wandered around the rest of the party like I was invisible. I smiled, nodded, drank flat soda. People chatted past me like I wasn't there. Emily didn't introduce me, not even once. At one point somebody spilled a drink and grabbed one of the chair cushions to clean it up. I kept quiet. Just before leaving, I walked back into the dining room, fixed a chair that had been pushed out of place, and gently turned it upside down. I reached into my coat, pulled out a folded note I had written that morning. Just in case my hand stopped for a second, then I slid the note under the chair frame, flattened it beneath the seat, and turned the chair back upright. Nobody noticed. I didn't say goodbye. I simply walked out the front door, still wearing the same forced smile. The breeze outside was colder than I expected, crisp and sharp. I slowly walked to my car, hands tucked into my pocket, ears full of laughter that wasn't mine. I drove home without saying a word, going over the phrase in my head, our family charity case. The note stayed hidden until the following morning. I barely slept that night. I kept thinking about her expression, not just how uncaring it was, but how entertained she seemed. Like I was some joke. Like me being there, the work I did, the months I spent organizing that gift was just pathetic. I thought I had moved on, but I hadn't. Not really. The next day I woke up and saw 14 texts. The first one was from Emily. She wrote, "What is this, Mark? Seriously, what is this about? What's wrong with you?" Then my mom sent one. She said, "Why would you leave something like that in her chair? It was meant to be a lovely party. Why ruin it?" I had some missed calls too. One from Bobby, another from Emily, and two more from a number I didn't recognize, which turned out to be her friend Rachel. It seemed they all saw the note, or maybe Emily read it out loud for extra drama. I'm not sure, but it got passed around fast. I didn't reply, not right away. I just wanted a moment of silence, because that quiet, those few hours where they had to face my words, was the most power I'd felt in years. Here's what I wrote in that note. It wasn't angry yelling. It wasn't filled with curse words. That's not how I handle things. What I put down was simple, clear, and honest. Emily, this dining set took 4 months of saving money, 2 weeks of back and forth design changes, and 3 late-night calls with a woodworker who doesn't usually take custom orders anymore. I did all this because you once said it was your dream set. You didn't know, but I skipped a vacation I'd been planning for more than a year to pay for it. I thought maybe, just maybe, this would be the thing that finally made you see me as more than just a walking ATM or your backup plan. But instead you called me the family charity case. So here's your charity. I'm done. Keep the dining set. I'm not taking it back, but don't expect anything else from me again. No more gifts. No more help. Not with money. Not with support. Not with anything. You got your dream table. Congratulations. But now you'll sit at it knowing exactly what it cost. Mark, I didn't sign it with love. I didn't need to. That morning the family group chat, the one we'd used for years to plan holidays and birthdays, went quiet. Then I saw I'd been removed from it completely. My mom probably did it, or maybe Emily. Honestly, I didn't care anymore. At noon my dad called. I thought about ignoring it, but curiosity got the better of me. He sounded calm, but I could tell he was stressed underneath. "She's upset," he said. "I know," I answered. "She didn't mean it like that." "Then what did she mean?" I asked, honestly wondering. "Because she said it in front of a room full of people and laughed." I didn't see even a little bit of regret. He paused, then let out that sigh he always uses when he realizes there's nothing left to argue. "Your mom wants everyone to get along. Tell her I'm not the one who needs to change." Then I hung up. That night Emily posted on her Instagram story a filtered photo of the dining table, perfectly arranged with wine glasses and green leaves, with the caption, "Dreams come true." No mention of me, no tag, nothing. But I noticed something odd. The chairs weren't lined up the way I placed them, and one wasn't even in the picture. That made me smile. She had found the note, and I knew it hit where it needed to. The following weeks went by without a word. For the first time in years I didn't receive any guilt-filled reminders about Mother's Day. No pressure-filled texts. No "since you're good with money" messages, just complete silence. But then 2 Saturdays later something happened that made the quiet turn into a storm. I was at a nearby cafe when I ran into Bobby by himself. He looked exhausted, pale, dark circles under his eyes, and jumpy in a way that didn't fit the calm image he always tried to give off. He saw me, gave a tight nod, and tried to pass by. I stepped into his path. "You read the note too?" He didn't reply, just glanced behind him like he wanted to run away. "She's been crying," he said quietly. "She eventually told everyone." "You caught her off guard?" I raised my eyebrows. "Interesting. I've never seen anyone shocked by someone who writes checks." That got to him. I noticed. Then he said something I didn't see coming. "She told me she doesn't understand why you're so cold, that you've always kept your feelings locked away." He looked to the side, then met my eyes again. "After that party, I get it now." I stared, not sure if he was trying to insult me or offer sympathy. "She wants to say sorry," he quickly added, "but only if you agree to take down the post." "What post?" I asked. His face went even paler. That's when I understood. She thought I had gone public. She assumed I'd shared everything online, on Reddit, Facebook, TikTok, somewhere. She believed I had exposed her, but I hadn't. Not yet. I leaned in a little. "Tell Emily I didn't post anything." He blinked. "You didn't?" I smiled. "Not yet." Then I walked out, leaving him frozen in the middle of the cafe like a deer staring at headlights. Because if Emily thought the note was the final blow, she had no clue what was really coming. I never heard from Bobby again after that day. Emily didn't send a message, didn't call, didn't even drop one of those fake cheerful hey. Just checking in text she usually sends when she wants a favor. The silence should have felt peaceful, but it didn't. It felt like a signal. You see, Emily never stays quiet unless she's planning something. And deep down I knew she wasn't finished, not even close. She might have felt ashamed, even humiliated, but people like Emily don't stay in that feeling. They twist it, reshape it, use it, and that's exactly what she did. 2 weeks after I saw Bobby at the cafe, my mom called me again. This time she didn't waste words. "Mark," she said in a sharp voice. "Did you tell people that Emily called you a charity case?" My heartbeat didn't change. I told Emily how I felt in a private letter at her event in her house. That's all. Her voice got tight. "Well, her friends are talking, and now your Aunt Emma is calling me, wondering why the whole family's falling apart." "Maybe because nobody ever stops Emily from saying terrible things in the first place," I answered calmly. "She didn't mean it that way," my mom snapped, but then her tone softened. "Look. Everything's gotten messy. She wants to talk, maybe even apologize, but only if you're willing to be mature about it." "I'm done." She stayed silent. "It's always me," I said under my breath. "Every time I'm the one who fixes things, I'm the one who forgives first. Do any of you even listen to yourselves?" I heard a sound, probably her sitting down, then a soft voice said, "She's your sister, Mark. She's also a 31-year-old adult who insults the people who care about her in front of strangers, and none of you spoke up for me, not even once." There was silence again. "She misses you," my mom finally said. "No," I answered, speaking softly but clearly. "She misses what I do for her." That's when I realized I couldn't let them keep twisting the story. I couldn't let Emily paint me as the bad guy, the angry brother who overreacted about something small because it wasn't small. This was 10 years of being the family's emotional punching bag, money provider, and problem solver. So I made a choice. I opened Instagram, not my main account but a separate one I'd kept private for years. I didn't post often, but I followed enough of Emily's friends and shared contacts to understand how her world worked. Shiny, fake, delicate. Her whole life depended on how people saw her, and that image was fragile like thin glass. I uploaded 3 pictures. The first was a screenshot of the receipt for the handmade dining set with the date, my name, the woodworker's name, and the full amount shown. The second photo was of the table set up perfectly clean, beautiful, untouched, taken before anyone arrived. The third was a cropped image of the note I'd hidden under the chair. No names, no tags, just a caption. "Sometimes you give your heart to people who only care about the receipt. Being generous doesn't make you weak. Letting others walk over it does." In just a few hours the post had over 100 shares. Comments started flooding in. Strangers, mutual contacts, even some of Emily's friends who recognized the table and put things together. One person even wrote, "Oof, I was there." She really did say that. Yikes. Then my phone rang. It was Emily. I stared at the screen for a moment, then picked up. Her voice was sharp, angry, sweet sounding, but clearly boiling underneath the same fake sweet tone she used when she didn't want to explode in front of others. "What's wrong with you, Mark?" "I didn't say your name," I replied. "You didn't have to. Everyone already knows." "Do they?" I said. "Or are you just scared they believe it because it's exactly something you'd say?" She went silent. Then she said, "You're making this a big deal. You're embarrassing me. You embarrassed me in front of people I didn't even know, and no one defended me. So now I'm speaking up." She laughed bitterly. "So what? Is this payback? You think you're teaching me something?" "No," I said. "I think I'm reminding you what it feels like to hurt someone who used to care." Then I ended the call. I thought maybe that would be the last of it, but Emily wasn't finished. 3 days later I got a letter in the mail, a real one on official paper, a warning from a lawyer. It wasn't a lawsuit but a formal notice asking me to stop all defamatory actions that might hurt her reputation. It was silly and had no legal strength, but the point was obvious. She was nervous. And when Emily feels threatened, she strikes back. So I had my lawyer write a reply, just a single page. "My client has not made any false claims. If your client is not the person shown in the described events, then no harm has been done. If she is, then perhaps she should worry more about her own actions than who saw them." We mailed it. No follow-up. No reply. Just more quiet. And then little by little messages started coming in. Soft roundabout apologies. Not from Emily herself, she's still too proud, but from people around her. A friend, someone we both knew from school, even Bobby again. One night Bobby texted saying he was losing work over this. People had started asking questions. I didn't respond because honestly I wasn't doing this to watch her suffer. I didn't want to destroy her name forever. But I did want the lie gone, that fake image of the perfect sister, the flawless life, the pretend kindness. Now every morning she had to sit at that same dream dining table and remember who gave it to her, how much it really cost, and how easily she threw it all away. Roughly a month after the lawyer's letter and the post that spread everywhere, I started hearing quiet talk that Emily had shut down her Instagram. Not just some deleted pictures, not hidden posts, completely gone. Her perfectly styled profile, the one with 30,000 followers, picture perfect lifestyle photos, brand deals, and carefully edited videos, vanished. I didn't catch it right away. Honestly, I wasn't even looking. But someone I hardly remembered from high school messaged me and asked, "Bro, did your sister actually delete her whole page?" I checked and yeah, it was all gone. Her online identity, that flawless life she built around a lie, disappeared without any big announcement. Part of me thought she'd bounce back, like always, post some emotional message about healing or setting boundaries or whatever trend she was into this month, but she didn't. She just went quiet. I didn't see her again until a few weeks later at our dad's birthday dinner. My mom had called me, doing what she always did when she felt things were falling apart, trying to get the family back together. I said I'd come not to play the fixer, but because I had finally made peace inside myself. I got there 10 minutes early and brought a drink I knew Dad liked. Nothing big, nothing for show, just something thoughtful. The house looked just like it always had, but when I walked in, something felt different. My mom smiled way too hard, and my dad kept sneaking looks at me like he didn't know what version of me he was about to face. I hugged them both, calm as always, and sat down at the table. Emily showed up 15 minutes late. She looked worn out, not in a messy way. She still wore one of her typical relaxed yet stylish outfits and had her light makeup on, but something was missing. Her eyes looked empty, like she couldn't hold the mask up anymore and hadn't figured out how to fix it. She didn't hug me, just gave a stiff, "Hey." I nodded. "Hey." Dinner felt tense. My mom kept laughing at nothing just to fill the silence. My dad joked about sports and Emily barely ate. She didn't mention the Instagram post, didn't bring up the letter, didn't say sorry, just quietly drank, like pretending nothing happened might make it go away. Halfway through the meal she finally spoke straight to me. "So did you really think I'd read that note and just what, break down crying?" Her voice was tired but still trying to challenge me. I looked at her for a few seconds. Not mad, not smug, just real. "No," I said. "I didn't care if you cried. I cared if you understood." She tensed but didn't say anything. Our mom jumped in quickly, trying to cover the awkward moment. "Let's not focus on that. Okay. We're here to enjoy your dad's birthday." But to everyone's surprise, Dad lifted his hand. "No. Let them talk," he said, voice steady but more firm than usual. "We've all avoided this long enough." Emily gave a small bitter laugh. "You all make me out to be the bad guy." "I never said that," I answered softly, "but I also didn't put those words in your mouth." "At the party you did," she said. "You embarrassed me in front of everyone." I looked her in the eye. "No. You embarrassed yourself. I just stopped cleaning up the mess." That shut her up. There was no reply, no joke, just silence. Dinner ended soon after. When I stood up to go, she followed me outside to the driveway. The air was chilly. The sky had that deep blue shade. It gets right before night fully sets in. She stood on the porch, arms crossed, eyes on the ground. "I've lost 2 sponsors," she finally said. "Brand deals gone." I waited. I had to make my account private. People were tagging me, spreading gossip, calling me selfish and fake. "You hurt someone who cared about you," I said, my voice calm. "This is what happens now. You don't get to walk away from that without facing what you caused." She looked up quickly. "You wanted to hurt me?" "No," I answered. "I just wanted to be free from you." Her lips parted, then closed again. For the first time ever, I saw something real pass through her expression, like she let her guard down for a moment. "Do you hate me?" she asked in a quiet voice. That question strangely made my chest ache a little. "No," I said truthfully. "I don't hate you. I've just finally accepted the kind of person you are." She blinked like my words didn't land the way she thought they would. Then she stepped back, clearly rattled, and stayed quiet as I got into my car and drove off. That happened 8 months ago. Since then I've only heard from her once. A short email with no subject line and no opening, just 2 simple lines. I found the initials under the edge of the table. I cried. I didn't respond. Not because I was bitter, but because I didn't need to. Real revenge isn't shouting or rage. It's not about big scenes or humiliating people online. It's the quiet truth that in the end the ones who treated you like you didn't matter will have to sit with what they did every single day at the same table you gave them. I didn't destroy her world. I just stopped shielding her from it. And now when she places her wine glass down on that beautiful walnut table with soft green chairs and the tiny carved letters she can't ignore, she think about the one person who stood by her when no one else did and what it cost her to laugh in his face. As for me, I finally took that trip. 2 full weeks in Lisbon. No internet, no text, no family. Just sketchbooks, slow walks, and sunshine on my skin. And for the first time in years I didn't feel like a backup plan or someone who's only there to give. I felt like a person who remembered his own value and never let anyone take it away again.